If you're thinking about moving to Dallas or even relocating within DFW, you already know the neighborhood options can be overwhelming. You've gotten the walkable energy of Uptown, the historic Tudor charm of the M Streets, and then the sprawling Preston estates of Preston Hollow. But there's one place that consistently dominates the conversation, a place families, top professionals, and executives try to get into, and once they're in, they rarely leave. That place is University Park. My name is Selden, and I'm a real estate agent. I've helped a lot of families decide whether or not the bubble is actually worth paying for. And I get the same question constantly. Is it really that great? Are the schools really that good? And is it really worth the money? So today, we're not just looking at pretty houses. We're breaking down the lifestyle, the community, the schools, what daily life looks like, the downsides, and of course, the real cost of admission. Because if you're thinking of living in University Park, you need more than hype. You need the truth. The first thing you need to understand about University Park is not just a neighborhood. It's almost its own self-contained world. When people describe it as a small town inside a major city, they're not exaggerating. A big reason is stability. About 85% of the residents own their own homes, which is extremely high for an area this close to downtown Dallas. People don't move here for a phase. They come here to plant roots. And you feel it immediately. Now, obviously, not every street is identical and not every family lives the exact same lifestyle. But the overall vibe here is very consistent. The streets are immaculate, tree canopies everywhere, people are out walking constantly, kids riding bikes in ways you don't see in just most major cities anymore. There's a real sense of organization and pride. It feels like people collectively protect the lifestyle. And no place is perfect, but University Park has a long-standing reputation as one of the safest feeling, most family-oriented pockets in Dallas County. That peace of mind is a huge reason families stretch their budget so aggressively to get in. At the center of it all is Snyder Plaza. Snyder Plaza has been around since the 1920s, and it functions sort of like a town square. It's not some giant luxury mall. It's where you grab coffee, do casual lunch, pick up groceries, and run into people you know. And you can't talk about the vibe here without mentioning SMU, right on the edge of the neighborhood. SMU brings cultural events, lecture, sports, and most famously, boulevarding, the tailgate tradition before SMU football games where the whole area feels like one big community celebration. So it's quiet, safe, and neighborhood-driven, and it's not boring. It's a residential piece with a pulse. Now let's talk about the biggest reason University Park is so expensive, the schools. So when people say University Park schools, what they're really talking about is Highland Park ISD, HPISD. HPISD isn't just good, it's widely considered one of the strongest public school districts in Texas and consistently ranks near the top. And that's where the private school field line comes in. It's not just test scores, it's resources, incredible facilities, deep extracurricular options, high-performing academics, strong college placement culture, and a highly engaged parent community. The centerpiece is Highland Park High School, a traditional neighborhood public high school that consistently ranks among the top public high schools in Texas. But here's what most people miss. It's not just the rankings, it's how woven into daily life the schools are. Most families can walk or bike to school. There's a real neighborhood pride. Friday night football isn't just an event, it's a town-wide tradition. So even when you're not a sports person, you feel the community identity around it. It's one of those rare places where public schools don't feel like something you tolerate. They feel like the whole ecosystem is built around giving kids a safe, structured, high opportunity environment. And that's why families will pay millions to get access. So what does daily life actually feel like? It's calm, but not isolated. By DFW standards, most people here have relatively short commutes. Many can reach major employment areas in 10 to 25 minutes, depending on where they work and what time of the day. So mornings often look like walking kids to school, a jog through one of the neighborhood parks, coffee at Snyder Plaza, or quick workout before work. University Park has a lot of parks. Caruth Park is a big one, and the streets are very pedestrian friendly. During the day, the bubble feels peaceful, but you're also positioned perfectly in Dallas. You're close to North Park Center, the Dallas Arts District, downtown, Left Field Airport, and major arteries like the Tollway and US 75. But the underrated detail, you don't feel like you're living in Dallas, and that's the bubble effect. In the summer, the Holmes Aquatic Center becomes a huge community hub. You've got local events like movies in the park, kids fishing derbies, holiday celebrations, and weekends are where the bubble really shines. Youth sports everywhere, families walking through the SMU campus, community events, and iconic traditions like 4th of July parade and seasonal festivals. It's a lifestyle feel that's simple and connected, but still elite. Now here's something people don't understand until they drive it. University Park isn't one vibe. It's actually a bunch of micro areas that feel slightly different. And this matters because the feel of your street can change your experience of the bubble. So for example, some areas feel more walk to Snyder Plaza, tighter streets, super local, very neighborhood town square energy. Other areas feel more quiet and tucked away, where it's mostly families, very little cut-through traffic, and almost feels suburban, even though you're still right in the middle of Dallas. You also have pockets close to SMU where the lifestyle leans a little bit more active and university adjacent, more movement, more events, and honestly, a little bit more energy on game days. And then you have streets with larger lots, bare homes, where the overall feel becomes more legacy, more established, more private. So this is why two homes can both be in University Park. And one feels like a storybook neighborhood, while the other feels more like estate living. So if you're serious about UP, don't just buy the house. You buy the street, the school walkability, the park proximity, the traffic pattern, and the lifestyle feel of that pocket. And that's the difference between we love it here and why does this feel less charming than we expected. Now, if I only told you the good stuff, this wouldn't be an honest video. University Park is amazing, but it's not for everyone. First, the obnoxious downside, the cost, and not just the purchase price, but the overall lifestyle cost. Once you're in a neighborhood like this, you're not comparing yourself to Dallas averages anymore. You're surrounded by extremely high-performing families, high expectations, a culture that can feel competitive academically in sports, socially, and even just keeping up. Some people thrive in that. Other people feel like it's pressure. And second, there's less nightlife and trendy dining inside the bubble than people expect. It's not uptown, it's not Knox Henderson, it's very family driven. So if you're in your 20s or 30s and want high energy and walkable entertainment every night, University Park can feel quiet, even a little sleepy. And third, you need to understand that what you're actually buying, a lot of the value here is tied to the schools and community, not pure price per square foot deals. So if you're the kind of buyer who wants the absolute most house that you can get for the money, you'll probably feel like University Park is overpriced, because in many cases, a $2.5 million home here can feel like a $1.8 million home somewhere else. And lastly, and I'll say this carefully, University Park is very tight knit. People love it because everybody knows everybody, but that also means it's not as anonymous as the rest of Dallas. So the University Park bubble is incredible. It's best for people who want family lifestyle, community, stability, and long-term roots. If that's not your vibe, there are other areas of Dallas that may fit your lifestyle better. Now, the question I get all the time is, okay, Selden, if UP is the bubble, what are the alternatives? And here's the simplest way I explain it. University Park, Highland Park, this is for buyers who want top-tier public schools, the bubble lifestyle, long-term roots, maximum stability, and they're willing to pay a premium for it. So if you're buying here, you're buying the ecosystem. Preston Hollow gives you bigger lots, more privacy, more estate style living, but it's not the same walk to school, small town vibe. And it's not as uniformly as community built as University Park. If you want space and privacy first, Preston Hollow is usually the better fit. Lakewood, M Streets are perfect if you want charm, character homes, strong community feel, and better proximity to certain lifestyle spots. You get a great neighborhood vibe, but it's not in the bubble. And schools can vary more, and the ecosystem isn't as controlled. And now Plano, Frisco, these are for buyers who want newer homes, more house for the money, planned communities, and great schools, but you give up the central Dallas positioning, and you lose a bit of that unique old Dallas prestige factor. So when people say, should I choose UP? The real question is, you want the bubble lifestyle specifically, or do you want a great neighborhood generally? Because those are not the same thing. Now let's talk numbers. University Park is one of the most expensive and competitive markets in Texas, period. As of late 2025 and early 26, the median sales price typically lands around $2.3 to $2.5 million, depending on inventory and seasonality. And the best homes, they don't sit. Turnkey properties in prime locations move quickly, especially updated homes, larger lots, walk to school streets, and newer builds with classic Highland Park, University Park flow. At this price point, you're generally not buying starter homes. The housing mix includes classic Tudors, Georgians, colonials, and high-end new construction with traditional architecture. And yeah, there's some smaller cottages, few duplexes, limited condo options, but the typical University Park home is multi-story, 4+ bedrooms, luxury finishes, often a pool, and you're really paying for three things: access to ISD schools that are tight-knit, high community ecosystem. And the location is central Dallas, positioning with short commutes to quick access to major hubs. The lifestyle bubble feels safety, walkability, community, and that small town in a big city experience. For some families, that combination is absolutely worth stretching for. For others, it's just too much. Before you start touring homes in University Park, there are three big mistakes I see buyers make over and over again here. Mistake number one, in buying the house and ignoring the street. Because the schools are so good and the name University Park is so strong, a lot of people assume that any house in the bubble is automatically a win. But remember, what we talked about with the micro areas, 2 homes can be University Park, but one has easy walk to school, low traffic, and a park down the street, and the other backs up to a busy cut through and feels way less charming day to day. If you focus only on square footage and finishes and not the street, the traffic pattern, the walkability, and the feel of that specific pocket, you can end up paying a premium for a lifestyle that doesn't feel premium. Mistake number 2 is underestimating the total cost of the lifestyle. Most people look at the purchase price and the property taxes, and those are big. But in an area like this, there's also higher carrying costs, activities and programs for kids, travel, sports, clubs, tutoring, and just the general keeping up factor. And for some families, that's exactly what they want. They want to plug into a high-achieving, opportunity-rich environment. For others, it can feel like constant pressure. If you stretch to get in and then feel financially squeezed every month, it changes how you experience the bubble. Mistake number 3 is treating all HPISD like it's the same. A lot of people think if I'm in HPISD, I'm good, and that's all that matters. But even inside HPISD, different streets have different school walk zones, traffic patterns that drop off and pick up, proximity to parks and fields, and overall day-to-day convenience. If you have young kids or plan to, you want to think about how will this actually feel on a Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m., not just is this technically zoned to HPISD. And the buyers who are happiest long-term in University Park are the ones who zoom in on the details and make sure the house, the street, the schools, and the lifestyle are all lined up with how they actually live. So if you're seriously considering University Park, or you're torn between this and another Dallas neighborhood, I put together a simple comparison guide that breaks down schools, lifestyle, and pricing across some of the top areas. If you want that, or if you want to see what our budget actually buys you in the bubble, reach out using the info in the description, or drop University Park in a message and send it over. And if you found this helpful, check out my other neighborhood breakdowns across Dallas so you can figure out exactly where in DFW fit your lifestyle and not just your price range.